Hello and welcome to our new podcast. This is the Poultry Network podcast. My name's Tom Willings. Joining me, Tom Woolman. We should probably start with some introductions, Tom. Do you want to kick off?
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me on. So I'm Tom Woolman, and I've worked predominantly up until this point in the poultry meat sector for about 15 years. Done all sorts of roles from farm manager to some senior management positions as well with integrators. Done a few other things as well. Done quite a bit of poultry journalism for a couple of years.
Award-winning, Tom.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
What was the award?
Well, the award, I'm just looking at it now. It's a special commendation, so I didn't get the top award, but it was at the British Guild of Agricultural Journalists John Deere Training Awards. So I actually got to play around with tractors as part of that, which is good because you don't often get to do that when you're a chicken.
That's a win-win, isn't it? I tell you, that sounds pretty serious to me. Having never won a single award in my entire life, I would take that. And if it comes with driving a tractor at the same time, then that is utopia, nirvana, nothing better.
Yeah, so that's good. So I work. I work in the poultry meat sector now, and interesting times. Yeah. What about you? What's your background?
So you're the meat guy, I'm the egg guy. Two Toms, both follically challenged, but I'm the one who actually looks like the final product. Not saying that you don't look like a chicken, but I do look like an egg. But yeah, my background is 15 years or so in the egg industry, predominantly with packers, so buying eggs from lots of farms as well as owning and running farms themselves. So worked for two of the largest in the country, and then interspersed amongst that a bit of time in retail, a bit of time in food service, a bit of time in sort of ancillary industries supporting functions. Currently combining work for Eggbase. Everyone knows Eggbase as the carbon footprint business and the software platform for layers, but we do a bit of meat stuff as well. And then my own consultancy. But being the host of the Sustainability Hub podcast for the Poultry Network over the course of the last few months, and the Poultry Network podcast is different to the Sustainability Hub podcast.
So what are you trying to create then with this new podcast?
Well, what are we trying to create? This is going to be an ongoing two-man effort, two-up team. I think what we want to create is something bite-sized, something regular, something that feels familiar and informal, but at the same time, hopefully insightful and nearing professional. I'd have a great ambition just to be part of the fabric of the news cycle of our collective industry. I'd like to welcome guests onto episodes in the future. Sometimes it will be just you and me, but sometimes it'll be with anybody from across the entire industry, meat sector and egg sector and supporting services as well, crucially. But I'd see it all the way up and down the supply chain, from farmers and growers, packers and processors, retailers, restaurateurs, academia, governance, assurance scheme, the whole gamut.
So really,
what about you?
I think it's important that we could say at this point there's an open invitation really to anyone that's listening to this and would like to talk to us and would like to get involved or has got stuff they want to discuss. Then please get in contact with Poultry Network. You'll find them on all your social channels, and they've got a website. And we definitely look at doing something in the future.
Absolutely right, and there's loads going on just at the moment. We're kicking this off at a time where world events obviously change at an alarming pace, and we've got some policy makers and plenty of content creators, haven't we, in charge of enormous economies and the largest economies in the world. The word tariff I don't think has ever been used quite so frequently, but it makes the world a pretty interesting place at the moment. All sorts of change, incredibly dynamic marketplace, and look forward to discussing that as as one particular avenue, but there's all sorts of stuff going on in each of our respective preferred sides of the industry. What's going on in the broiler sector at the minute?
So certainly for many years, people were talking about the better chicken commitment or the European chicken commitment, talking about whether that would be happening as a widespread phenomenon. I think now really the industry has played its cards and the retailers have played their cards. And while they're not moving towards a slower growing breed, the vast majority of retail is signed up to a 30 kilos stocking density, which is a reduction. It's about 21% reduction in terms of stocking density. So fewer chickens in the poultry house. What that's done actually though has driven a shortage of production space in the UK. Interestingly, I mean, you'll talk about the eggs, but interestingly, at a time as well when the egg sector and the meat sector can be in competition for the same resources, the same poultry buildings. So there's a bit of a shortage, and so even though there's a lot of the conditions that you need for growth, performance seems to be doing reasonably well at the moment in terms of bird performance. Feed prices are tracking down, but potentially we're not growing to fill that gap as quickly as we could do because of challenges around environmental permittation and planning.
Yeah, there's another great topic. We've got to get in. We've definitely got to get into that and get the right people on to talk about.
Yeah. So, and what about the egg sector then at the moment, Tom? What do you hear people talking about?
Firstly, I think you touch on something that's really important: is that there's a huge crossover between the two sectors. So a lot of the things that challenge you, or a lot of the things that present opportunity to the meat industry, it will be the same on the egg side of the job. Specifically, eggs at the minute, I think probably most of the chats around free range, codes of practice, production standards. Dare I use the letters RSPCA? There's been all sorts of debate, discussion about their changes of standards since they first, made noises in late 2023. There's been discussions or rather negotiations between everyone in the chain. And recently come out with the kind of white smoke saying here are our revisions, yet don't seem quite to have satisfied everybody at grassroots level. So that's probably the most obvious ongoing discussion. Lots of M&A, lots of businesses changing hands, quite a lot of European influence in that as well. That's interesting. Imports. So we've just had a degree of deregulation in the post-Brexit relationship with the European Union that should smooth the export market. But we've also got a conversation ongoing about just how easy a target we are for imports and how much egg is coming in specifically from Ukraine at the moment. So they're probably the topics of the day. Looking forward to getting into the detail on each of those with guests and with yourself, Tom.
Yeah, and I think what I'm quite excited about is actually having a bit of a space where we can talk and we can give some comment on the news, because I think particularly in the poultry sector, there's not a huge amount of different voices that are always heard. So it's nice to create a bit of a space where we can talk about what's going on with the sector, and let some different voices come and talk about it.
Fantastic. Well, looking forward to get started. I'm going to repeat your call to arms. If you haven't already subscribed to the Poultry Network weekly newsletter, then go ahead and do that. But soon you're going to see a link to the podcast as well. We'd love you to subscribe to that. And of course, there's all sorts of other stuff going on within Poultry Network, not to mention the Sustainability Hub still goes on. That's still a separate product via the Poultry Network website. I've got a conference coming up, of course, in September, and we'll get Jake himself on to come and talk about that in due course. But for now, we hope you're going to join us on this journey. We don't know quite where it's going to take us, but we're going to enjoy the process. And Tom, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, see ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you.